Now lock in, now laser focus.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Locked In. I know this looks a little different. Sam couldn't make it today. He is not feeling well, but we still got a great episode for you guys. We're covering everything Super Bowl, many debates today. But first, I want you guys to let you guys know the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League games are today as well. We have Undiscovered versus the Underdogs, Creating Young Minds versus the Pros, Louis Black versus the Prospects. A lot of great games today. Undiscovered versus the Underdogs might be give us a new look. Versus we haven't seen them play each other yet. The Creating Young Minds versus the Pros. You got two great veteran teams there, and Louis Black versus the Prospects, two kind of underrated teams. So a lot of great matchups today. Make sure you guys check it out. The link will be in the comments below. But I want to get to our show today. We have a very special guest today joining us. We have the host of Fan Experience podcast, Mike Katos and Rick Molina. I want to thank you guys and bring you on the show. I want to know, how you guys doing, and what are your Super Bowl plans?
Go ahead, Mike. Go first. Well, we're doing great. Thank you, Megan, for having us on the show. We're sorry to hear about Sam being under the weather today. We're looking forward to having him on as well. As some of you may know, Sam was on our show a couple of weeks ago on the Fan Experience, and it was great having him and hearing you guys' story. Tomorrow, it's the big game, and it also coincides with our 55th episode for the Fan Experience. So we're gonna have a special episode tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, on the Fan Experience TV. You can find us at Fan Experience Pod on Instagram and the Fans Pod on Twitter, and you can tune in. And we're also opening the lines for some call-ins, so definitely DM us if you want to come on. Rick?
Yeah, same. We're doing the show from 3 to 5, so it's going to be pretty exciting. And again, Megan, thank you for having us on. Hopefully Sam is feeling better rapidly pretty soon. But yeah, so we're going to, tune in. We talk about the game, give our predictions, prop bets, talk about who's going to be the unsung hero of the game, who's going to be the MVP. And then as far as what I'm going to do personally for the game, got invited to a couple of Super Bowl hosting events. So depending on what time we finish, see if I head out to one of those. But if not, like I was telling Mike earlier, I said I can order some wings, I can get a pizza or a sandwich. And we came to the conclusion maybe all three is the way to go. So those are the plans for tomorrow. It should be a fun day and looking forward to it.
Hey, no arguments.
Chime in the chats. What should Rick get?
Yeah, what should I get? Should I go with some Hooters wings to go? Should I get a nice ham and cheese hero or pizza or all three?
I know Duffy will probably be able to pitch in. Duffy knows what he's talking about here. You also Brandon saying Sam looks different. Sam's not here today.
Hi.
Hey,
Sam's not here today. He is not feeling well. But the show goes on. We have a very special Super Bowl edition for you guys today. But I also want to. That's not really a bad choice. Wings, pizza, and all you can eat.
Yeah, pretty much like a buffet.
Yeah.
We got it all three, and we got a wings and pizza. So two opinions.
I'm gonna link all you guys' podcasts in the comments after the show, so you guys can check that out in the comments below. But also, how does it feel now? Because you guys are usually podcasters. How does it feel being a guest right now? I want to know before we hit on our show. Like, how does it feel? Does it feel a little weird right now?
Well, like I said, before we went live, it's weird to be on this side of because we're on StreamYard, obviously, for those that don't know. And obviously I got God mode at my fingertips when it comes to us taping our show. And now I only can only see the comments and that's it. Like I have no control over what's going on. It's actually it's weird to me.
It is. I had that same experience. I thought it was very interesting.
But but it's always great to come on your show and any shows as a guest. Just talk sports. What's better than that?
Exactly. Now, also, I want to get into our first debate today.
Yeah.
First, I want to let everyone know these are Jets fans, right? They have no alliance to this game. They have no alliance.
Yeah. We don't have alliance to the Super Bowl very much.
No. Now, wait, are you guys Tom Brady? Like, you want him to fail, or you guys just like, I don't care? Well, how do you guys feel about Tom Brady, though, as Jets fans?
Rick, you can kick this one off.
Yeah, look, he's the greatest of all time. I think there's no question about that. There's no debate about that. And as a Jets fan, obviously you want him to lose, but you have to admire greatness when you see it. But me, I think in Patrick Mahomes, we're seeing greatness come to life, right? We see it growing before our eyes. Mm-hmm. And to watch that I think is something special. So I will be rooting for Mahomes tomorrow. And I want him to win this one, because in my eyes, like if he beat Brady 2 years ago in the AFC Championship, this would be 3 in a row for them. And I like the Chiefs. I just like Patrick Mahomes. He's a humble guy, Kansas City. His dad played for the Mets. I'm not a Met fan, but his dad played for the Mets. But he's just the way he is. He's just a humble kid. Came out of Texas Tech and just doing well. So I'll be rooting for Mahomes tomorrow. No hate against Brady. Yeah. Just rooting for Mahomes.
Yeah. Same. I'm going to be rooting for Mahomes. But I am not, like, throughout this whole playoff, and throughout the whole year, really, Brady, I see Brady in a different light. He's not behind that Patriot way PR wall that they have on there, where you're only allowed to say 2 words, and on to Kansas City.
Right.
Whatever. Like, that's all they say, but Brady's able to talk like a human being this year, which you realize that he is still a human being and not just a puppet. So I don't want to punch my TV screen when I see Brady open his mouth like I did for the past 20 years. That being said, obviously I know he's definitely the greatest, but Mahomes is a wonderful quarterback. He's very talented, and I want to see him win this game, because if Brady wins, you can never consider Mahomes the greatest of all time, no matter how many Super Bowls he ends up winning down the line. Because if you can't beat the greatest, you can't be the greatest. So, I definitely hope that Mahomes can win. I think he will win. But if it just so happens that Tom Brady wins, I will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be a good game, no matter what. That's all I hope for is a good game. And it's not that Tom Brady winning as a Patriot, because I can't stand that. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right, about Brady. Like, this year it's different. He's being himself. He's allowed to speak. I think it's humanized him a little more, right? And people are like, wow, this guy's not a bad guy. He's not really like a jerk. He's just like he's a cool dude, He's living a good life. So that's why you can't hate on him, and you can't wish you can't wish bad against him. But I'm going to root for Mahomes in this one, though.
See, I want to touch on that. See, it's like different for me, because I am a New England Patriots fan, so I kind of still want to throw my TV in the garbage when I see him in the Buccaneers uniform. I wouldn't kick it though. It's too like I'm a college student. I can't afford to get a new TV. Anyways, but no, when I see him, it looks different. But we're definitely witnessing greatness in this game, and we're gonna get into later how it impacts their legacy together. But honestly, I feel like Brady, to touch on what you guys were saying real quick, I feel like Brady, he you see some things he'll comment about his father and stuff like that still when he was with the Patriots, but he definitely couldn't really talk too much on the game or on the game plan as much as he able to do with Tampa Bay. So he has a little bit more freedom, a little bit more personalized. But enough with the Brady Mahomes talk, because that's what everyone's talking about, right? Brady Mahomes. I want to know what player that maybe outside of Brady Mahomes that you're looking out for this upcoming Sunday.
Mike, you want to take it? Go ahead, or you?
Yeah. I mean, you cannot discount the effect that Travis Kelce has on the Kansas City Chiefs. TyrekeHill is a speedster. He's always out there getting open, but Kelce, I feel like you just can't guard him. Like he's always open. Every time you look, he's always open. What did he have? 11 catches in the game before?
Yeah.
11, 12 catches, something like that. And he just always finds the way to get open. And it's going to be very tough for the Buccaneers to go ahead and stop Travis Kelce and that would be the key. If the Buccaneers are going to have any chance, it's going to be stopping Kelsey first and foremost, because Hill is another great weapon. Don't get me wrong, but that's the key is stopping Kelsey.
I agree. He's not. Well, real quick before you get, I just want to know he's 9 for 9 last matchup versus TampaBay. So he's definitely a target, but I will get into that in a second. I want to hear what you have to say there.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Chris Godwin. I think in this game, Kansas City's going to try to double MikeEvans a lot. Big receiver, 6'4", 230, whatever he is. Brady loves going to him, and Godwin's got to make some catches in this game. He's got to make some plays. In Green Bay, he had a couple drops. Then he had that big catch down the middle of the field, but he's got to come up big in this game if they want to win. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Godwin. I think the over-under is him having like 5 or 6 receptions for like 72 yards. I think for them to win, Godwin's got to have a little more. I think he's got to have like at least 8 or 9 catches, try to get him over 100 yards, and just sort of find a way to sort of keep that double coverage away from Chris Mike Evans, and just keep that pressure off. So I'm keep an eye out for Godwin to have a big game on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Chris Godwin, we saw what he was last year, right? And this year it's a little bit down because he had to spread out the ball more. He has to get chemistry. But going into the season, I thought he was going to be a number 1 guy, given how much that Brady loves that slot. But he just has to hold on to the ball. He has to make sure he grabs those catches. Everyone loves offense. I'm going to be different here. And no, Brandon, I'm not going with the punters, okay? I'm going to be different here. And I think that what this game is going to come down to, this team is both offense powerhouses. This game is going to come down to defense. Which defense is better?
Yep.
So, players I'm looking out for. I got Devin White, the star young linebacker for the Buccaneers. Now, he had two forced fumbles, 1 safety, and 1 interception so far this season. He was second in sacks for them this year with 9. And with that on-line for Kansas City banged up, I can see him making some plays using his young legs to get after Mahomes.
I agree. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. What were you going to say?
No, I agree with you. I think the Bucs defense, has got to show up here. And because the way I look at it, if Mahomes is standing, they don't got a shot. But if they get pressure on them and they're rattling them, that's where they're in the game. I mean, so keep an eye out for Mahomes' jersey. If it's dirty, if it's ripped, then they're having a good game and they got a shot to win this game. But that's a good eye right there on the Buccaneers defense over there.
Yeah, yes, Devin White. And it could be Barrett. Barrett's usually one gets more sacks. He got 3 sacks already, but I think Devin White with the younger legs, I think he'll probably have a better chance to get after Mahomes. And also for Kansas City side, I'm going Honey Badger because I think Honey Badger is just a ball hawk, and this game's going to come down to, like I said, defense. And if he can make an interception, I think that could be probably momentum, a huge thing that could probably swing momentum in the game. But he already has an interception and a safety. He had 6 interceptions this season, tied for the third in the NFL. So I see him maybe making a play in this game. So I'll get into that. What I think what Tampa Bay has to do to counter that in a minute. But I want to know for the next question, for running backs, who do you think will have the most yards this Sunday?
Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
Because I don't trust Kansas City's run. Actually, there could be a chance that TyrekeHill has the most rushing yards in this game, or McCole Hardman. But if we're talking strictly running backs, I would say I would put my money on Fournette. Kansas City, they are they're not very good at stopping the run, and Kansas City's rushing attack is just not what it used to be. And you mentioned their O-line is banged up. Mahomes is going to have to do a lot. That goes without saying. But there's going to be a lot of trick plays with TyrekeHill, McCole Hardman, and it's going to be a lot on Mahomes' shoulder. And Brady just he always hands it off. He's relied on his running backs for the past how many years. So, that those running backs are going to eat, and Fournette seems to be the best in the bunch over there.
Tampa Bay has gone pass heavy, though. But I think that with that 3 power, they have really multiple running backs who should be number 1, who could be number 1 guys. So I could see them using it, especially with Kansas City weaknesses they run defense. But, Rick, I want to get into what you have to say first before bringing my.
No, I'm with you on that one. I think, but Kansas City is going to have to run the ball because you got Shaq Barrett over there. You got JPP. You can't, like I said, Mahomes has to be standing. So you don't want him dropping back 50 times and then just teeing off on them. They got to keep him honest at least and run the football. So I expect Damian Williams to get his touches. I expect Le'Veon Bell to see some carries as well. So just to keep that defense honest, so when they attack down the field, at least Mahomes has a chance to throw the ball down there. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, but they do, they have to run the ball. They can't get away from it. They got to be patient as well. They have to run the ball to move down the field against this Buccaneers defense. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Le'Veon, Damian Williams, Daryl. I'm sorry, Damian Williams. Daryl Williams, and that running attack.
That was last year.
Yeah. And don't be surprised if Mahomes runs for a few years. I mean, I think there are going to be plays in this game where it's a 3rd and 15 and Mahomes runs for a first down. Like those things as well, man. We got to keep an eye out for that as well. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch.
I think they have to throw trick plays in there because, like you said, they have to mix it up. But I'm not sure if they can do it with just their run game. I think you bring up an interesting underdog there, Mike, with TyrekeHill. I don't think they're going to get it from just LaShawn McCoy or Williams back there because I think, first off, TampaBay has had, the second best run defense this postseason. They're a top one defense team, especially with that defensive line they have there. So you're not going to have much success running against them. So I think if you're going to run against them, you have to run trick plays, run on the outside. But given that Kansas City's run defense is their weakness, I think Tampa Bay running backs are going to have more success. And I'm going with a running back that had more success with them earlier this season, a little bit more faster than Fournette. I'm going with Jones here, Ronald Jones. He had 66 yards and average 7.3 per carry against them early in the season. But I think even though Fournette's been the one who they've been going to, he has 48 attempts, has the most yards right now in the postseason. I do think they're going to give it to Ronald Jones because I think his speed is a little bit more faster, and I feel like he worked versus the Kansas City before. And why try to fix something that's not broken? So I could see them going back to Jones and running the ball there and try to make it a balanced offense. Keep Kansas City honest. But now we talk about running backs. I want to get to wide receivers. All right, a lot of options here with both these offenses. So I want to know. I'm even throwing tight ends here. Which receiver? Forget the wide receiver. What receiver, like receiving, catching guy, will have the most yards in this game?
Oh, that's you want me to start going with it? TyrekeHill's gonna have. I think TyrekeHill's gonna have a monster game. I think he's gonna have like 10, 15 catches. Might have 200 yards receiving. I mean, that's the type of game I'm expecting out of TyrekeHill. So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, we got some comments over here. Scotty Miller or Hill? We were talking about that the other day, with Scotty Miller and Hill want to have like a little race at halftime. So let's see what happens there. But Scotty Miller is definitely not going to have more receiving yards than TyrekeHill, if that's what you're inferring there. But Hill, I agree. Hill is a game changer, and if Kansas City is winning this game, Hill is going to eat and maybe even get close to 200 yards. And you know what? He does that all the time. He plays a Brady team, right? Doesn't he get like 200 yards every single time? He just racks them up, man. Team. But yeah, Hill's going to have to be instrumental in this game. Kelsey, I think, breaks 100 as well. Might even be some tricky stuff with Hardman over there. And on the Tampa Bay side, you mentioned Godwin earlier. And, I think Godwin can break 100. And Evans will have to, they're going to try and lock down Evans as much as they possibly can. And Scotty Miller and Antonio Brown will, I'm sure, play a factor. But I think Godwin would be the leading wide receiver for the Bucs side.
All right, I think both teams are going to try to outmatch each other when it comes to big plays, right? I think they're going to try to go head-to-head with big plays ability, and I agree with you. I think I have Hill as my guy, even though I don't feel like he's a top five wide receiver. We'll get into that in a minute. But I think Hill, I do not have him in my top 5. But now Hill is a great speed. That's his MO. I don't see any of the Tampa Bay secondary, which is kind of middle of the pack, matching up with them. It's not like they have Honey Badger over there either, who can come over the top and intercept the ball. So I think TyrekeHill, with his speed, this TampaBay cornerbacks is going to have a big game, especially when they consider. I think this game's going to come down to big playability as well. So that's who I have. But Scotty Miller, I think TampaBay's going to spread it up. That's been the MO all season. They're going to spread the ball around. I think you're going to see multiple guys get the ball for TampaBay. But now on the topic of wide receivers, since we talked about Hill and we talked about Evans, which wide receiver would you rather have as a number one wide receiver? Evans, Mike Evans, or TyrekeHill?
TyrekeHill, without a doubt.
Really?
Okay, Mike Evans. I don't know if anyone plays fantasy football, but I play fantasy football. Okay?
Here we go. Bring up the violin over here.
Okay, well, let me say, the past 2 years prior to this one, I had TyrekeHill on both teams, and I won the championship both those years. But looking at Evans's numbers, you cannot be anywhere in the top 5 of wide receivers when you have goose eggs 3 times throughout the season. It just you can't. If you're supposed to be one of the best wide receivers, there should not be a 0 in your column, in catches, in yards, and whatnot. You cannot be considered one of the best wide receivers. And TyrekeHill can make it up in one play. Evans, he's had his bombs and stuff like that, but TyrekeHill is just always getting open. He's squirrely, and he can get through and catch passes through triple coverage. You've seen it happen. And, it's just he's way too much of a game changer to be considered to be, less than Evans in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on that. I think Tyreek Hill is becoming one of those top 5 wide receivers. He is on any play, he can take it to the house, right? You can throw him a bubble screen. He can break it open. He can go deep. We've seen him go deep on some of these plays that he is. The guy is constant motion. He's got great hands, and he's just he just plays with such determination. And perfect example of a Tyreek Hill, what was it? On a 4th and 1 to win the playoff game. Was it against Buffalo?
Yeah.
Gets open, gets a first down.
Before that,
the Browns. I'm sorry, the Browns. But the guy is, he knows his situational awareness, and he's just that dynamic. Let's face it, Tyreek Hill's he's become a dynamic wide receiver, and I don't know how you cover him. I really don't. Tampa could double him, and then they leave Kelsey open. But then you got Mecole Hardman, who's coming into his own. That guy flies down the field. But honestly, I don't know how a defense can cover him. So I think Tyreek Hill is getting to the point where he's the number one option as wide receiver on an offense.
You can't teach speed, right? You can't teach speed.
Can't teach it.
But I gotta say this though, and Mike Evans' defense, because everyone's slandering Mike Evans. I gotta come to his defense real quick. All right, so Mike Evans, to me, you mentioned he had some couple bombs, but he has dealt with injuries this year, and I feel like unlike Hill, he had up and down roller coaster for QBs, and every year he's produced number one wide receiver stats.
Okay,
that's towards the end of the season. And if you look at Hill's and Evans' number, if you're talking about the catches, the hands, how good are their hands, they both have about 64% catch rate. The yards, obviously, Hill has more balls thrown at him, so Hill gets more, especially with Hill. I feel like Patrick Mahomes have more, years of the relationship. They have better connection probably than Brady and Evans does right now. So I think that we have to consider that when he plays into his favor. They both look to when it comes to big time moments, first downs and touchdowns. So they're both up there, 15 Hill, 13 Evans. You're talking about 57 first down for Hill, 55 for Evans. The only thing that separates them, I think, is the speed, because the yak ability, yards after catch, Hill blows them away. But Evans is more of a physical back. He's athletic for his size, but he's also more physical as far as he'll go up there and grab it. Hill, I feel like it's perfect for Patrick Mahomes because he's not going to really outmuscle you. But he's a burst by the guy and he'll hit it. But for Tom Brady, I think I'd rather have Mike Evans, just because we've seen Tom Brady, even though he's getting a little bit more comfortable for long ball, is not as accurate as Patrick Mahomes when it comes to the long ball. So I'd rather have a guy that can go up there and grab it. For as far as consistency, this is tough. I think it's a lot closer. It's a lot closer than people. I don't think it's just Hill. Mike Evans, you talk about Hill, besides speed, what else does he do that's top 5 category? I'm giving it a little bit towards Evans because I feel like he's done it I've seen him do it with other QBs, right? TyrekeHill had a great season, like one great season before 2017, before Patrick Mahomes, but it wasn't blowing you away. When Patrick Mahomes came in, he really took it to the next level. Evans has been like this no matter who his QB is. So I trust Evans a little bit more. If I'm taking him out of our offense, TampaBay's offense, I'm taking Hill out of Kansas City offense to produce the same. I trust Evans more.
I mean, look, you could look at it that way. Tyreek Hill just jumps off the screen. I mean, the guy is, and here's the thing. He can go get a 50-50 ball. He's 5'10", but he's strong enough to go get a 50-50 ball, right? Like he's that good. And, here's the thing about Mike Evans. He had Jameis Winston, and he put up some numbers. He's got Brady now. So he's played with quarterbacks who get him the ball down the field. But at the end of the day, when it comes to an offense and you want a guy who's going to jump, like I said, jump off the screen, who's going to create such havoc for a defense. I mean, I don't know. Again, great points. I don't think there's an argument. I think it's Tyreek Hill.
So you take the speed. It's really speed over 50-50 because I think Tyreek Hill has great hops. Like he can get up in the air, but I don't trust his hands as much as I trust Evans' hands when it comes to 50-50 ball, especially without physical other guys. Like I'm not sure if he can really go over those grabs, other guys 50-50 ball and grab it out their hands. I trust Evans to do that.
All right.
Well,
listen.
Go ahead, Mike. So you said that their catch rate is similar, but you have to take into account that there's a lot more long shots when it comes to Hill, and it's a lot harder to complete passes like of that caliber all the time. So and also if you also consider if Kansas City did not have Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill would have at least 5 extra touchdowns in the red zone every season. Okay,
but I want to bring out a rebuttal real quick. When you talk about average, though, the average Evans actually has a more average targets per game with 14.4 per catch, where Tyreek Hill is a little bit under 12.3. So I think the big playability Evans is there, and you can say Evans has more guys around him to take the ball away because you got Gronk, especially with the end zone with his relationship with Brady. You have Goodwin, and then you have Antonio Brown now. Besides Kels, if a defense is really good at covering the tight ends, they have really good safeties. Hill is the number one guy. Watkins is the first game, he's usually great, right? But he kind of falls off to like an average wide receiver after that. Harmon's a pretty good guy, but Hills is the main guy on that team. Where I feel like TampaBay spreads the ball more on offense. So I think this is closer than people think. But I'm taking Evans because I think he is one. Like I said, more consistent given whoever QB is, and also I take the physicality, especially with the cornerbacks now. I'll take that a little bit over speed because Evans, I think, is still kind of fast to me. It's fast enough for his size.
No, he's definitely a playmaker, and he's definitely a number one wide receiver on his team. But if you're going back and you're looking at the past 4 years, since Hill's been in the league, and Evans has been a player in the league, and Evans has just way too many goose eggs to even be considered in this conversation. That's really what I believe.
Fair enough. So you're saying like you think it's his injuries? That's to me. That's why what happens.
Of course, injuries definitely play a factor in there because if you're hobbled or you're not playing in a game, but you cannot be considered a top 5 wide receiver if you're putting up 0 points in a game, catching 0 yards. And Hill, all he needs is one play. All he needs is one play, and he can get you 50 and a touchdown in one play. That's it.
To be fair, I don't have Mike Evans in my top 5 either.
It's just a good debate.
Yes. But going on, flipping it to who do we trust more for wide receivers? Who do we trust more for defense? I feel like it's a little bit more easier question. Rick, do you want to start us off here?
Yeah, I just defensively, I think you got to trust TampaBay's defense just because they're more sound. Todd Bowles is obviously a defense coordinator, former Jets head coach, who's going to be at a Super Bowl. But I just think they're a little more right. They're more sound. They got they're going to put pressure on them. I think they're going to put pressure on Mahomes with Shaq Barrett and JPP. I see there's a comment there that the Bucs D is going to shut them down. You guys forget they played a stout, and I mean top 5 defense in the 49ers last year in the Super Bowl. They were down 27-17 and came back and won that game. So don't sleep on the on Kansas City's offense against a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I obviously have more faith in them. But the question is, will their safeties and their corners hold up against the pressure of Travis Kelce, TyrekeHill, Mecole Hardman? Because eventually, man, that just catches up to you and wears you down back there. But to answer your question, I think obviously the Buccaneers defense is the one you would trust most in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Buccaneers defense is certainly the better defense of the two. My only issue is that you mentioned the Honey Badger and Tyrann Mathieu. You said he had 6 interceptions, but I think 4 of them have happened in the last 6 weeks. So the momentum is all on Tyrann Mathieu right now. And I think that, Brady threw 3 interceptions in the previous game. The Packers only walked away with 7 points. Okay. Kansas City and Mahomes will not score 7 points off of 3 takeaways.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be that game changer. And who's more prone to throwing interceptions, Brady or Mahomes?
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay defense is great, but if you're playing against a quarterback that rarely makes mistakes, it changes the game. And that's what it's all about. It's Mahomes' league. It's Mahomes' team. Everything goes through Mahomes. If Mahomes has a bad game, the Kansas City Chiefs will not win this game. I mean, nobody will argue that. Mahomes definitely needs to play how he's been playing. If Tom Brady makes a couple of mistakes, which he is prone to do, whether it be, whoopsie daisy Mike Evans dropping a pass and just handing it to somebody else. That's another thing Mike Evans does a lot.
That's true. That's true.
So Godwin's better than Evans, in my opinion.
I think he can get there.
Hill, Godwin, Evans. That's where I would go. But regardless, if he throws a couple interceptions, like, it's game over. If Brady throws a couple interceptions, whoever leads the takeaway battle is going to win this game.
That's a fair assessment. I think I think he needs a couple more years, but I think he can get there. I think his potential is the roof. Maybe if he comes on a Patriots, he'll get the ball more. I'm just going to put it out there.
Who's this? Who's this?
Godwin. I said good one. Godwin. Yeah, Godwin. Yeah. I'm just going to throw that out there. But no, really, I feel like no defense is going to stop either of these offense, right? You can slow them down, but you're not going to stop them. And it's really going to be Tampa-based front 7.
No, go ahead. I was going to go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it's going to be Tampa-based front 7, right? Who comes to Tampa-based front 7 or Kansas City's secondary? And you mentioned Brady has been throwing interceptions. I think it's because of can't think of the name. Bruce Arians' big risk, offense, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like first half of the season, he's probably gonna have the record-breaking interception year. But he seemed like he got more comfortable as the game went around. Ended up with only 12. His most was 14. So I think, given that this is crunch time and Brady excels in crunch time, he's clutch. I'm not sure if he is going to be as interception prone. Maybe I could see Honey Badger taking 1. I can't see him throwing 3 in this game. I can't see him throwing 3.
I don't think he's going to throw 3 picks in this game. One, the weather's not going to be freezing, so he's going to be warmer out there. So his arm's going to be a little more livelier. But I can see Brady throwing a pick in this game. Remember, he threw one when Kansas City faced the Patriots in the AFC Championship 2 years ago in the end zone. They still came back to win that game. But I think Brady could be a little turnover prone this year, so we have to keep an eye on that. The other thing I wanted to mentioned was that, Gronkowski, it's not like he's had big plays out there, and I think the defenses will be able to sort of clamp him down. Just keep an eye out for him making one of that one big play that goes for 30 yards that kind of changes the momentum of the game. I would keep an eye out for that. But again, Brady, if he throws a pick, they're in trouble. And so, keep an eye out for that.
Momentum's a real thing. Like I said, momentum's a very, very big thing. I'm going to give some numbers here. So Kansas City's run defense has given up 120 yards this season. And this is against one of the teams with Buffalo, who doesn't like running the ball. So we got to keep that in mind. And in regular season, they were more middle of the pack. Passing, they 215 yards so far for the season. For the postseason, 236. Middle of the pack again. So they have a middle of the pack defense. Tampa Bay, I feel like their front 7 is top of the league. The secondaries will make some more middle of the pack, but their front seven's top of the league, and with the offensive line injuries, with Kansas City has, I believe, is it 2 or 3 starters? 2 starters out, right?
Yeah.
The 2 starters out.
Yep.
I just see Patrick Mahomes is gonna be, I want to say rattled, because he doesn't really get rattled, right? He's very calm, cool, but he's gonna be moving around a lot in that pocket. He's gonna be forced. He's gonna be trying to maybe forcing some things, and I can see TampaBay trying to take advantage. I can also see maybe this game have maybe Patrick Mahomes might be throwing an interception this game. We'll get into that. But I don't think it's gonna be like a high turnover game. I think this might be a one versus 2 type thing. More sacks than anything. So I trust TampaBay's defense a lot more because of that front seven, where I think Kansas City's in total is more middle of the pack. And TampaBay's hot right now. That defense is pretty hot. After I said the Rams game, I'm like, they have been inconsistent. They need to get hot. I don't trust them. And as soon as I said that, they start getting hot.
I'm starting to get a sense of where you're leaning towards in this game.
Yeah. Well,
we'll get that in a minute. We'll get that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, don't give my obvious takeaway.
No, not at all.
But now we're talking about wins. What does Kansas City need to do to win this game?
Right.
They just got to keep Mahomes up. They protect Mahomes. I think they'll be fine. That's if Mahomes is getting sacked, he's getting pressured, he's getting rattled. That defense is getting to him. Those guys get to him. That's a problem. But if they keep standing up and they protect him, I think they win it hands down.
Yeah, I echo that. Mahomes has to stay on his feet, Kansas City also has to stop this whole let's go down 2 touchdowns and come back.
Yes.
Eventually, that
will
not
catch
going
up to you.
Work,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
So they need to just stay even keel. They need to just stay punch for punch, and then eventually Kansas City will take it away. And I'm still trying to decide which way I want to go on the spread. I know it's a low spread, and you can't bet against Brady on such a low spread. But part of me feels that Kansas City will win this one a little bit easily, compared to other losses by Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But you still can't count out Brady. But Kansas City just has to, Mahomes just has to do what Mahomes does, and if he can do that, then they will be fine. And no matter how much time Tampa Bay's running game keeps Mahomes off the field, as long as he comes back and ties it all up, or does something and runs down the field every single time he has the ball, then they'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I say we have a lot of Tampa Bay fans in his comments, so I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's all right.
But what I say was, yes, to the point of, I think we talk about Tom Brady here. The last 2 minutes, you don't want to give him the last 2 minutes of the game, right? You can't keep doing what you've been doing as far as trying to make a comeback towards the end of the game, because if it's down to 2 minutes, Brady versus Mahomes, it's really a toss up, right? If we're gonna have one last drive, who's gonna get it? You don't want it to come down to that for Kansas City. You want to have a comfortable lead, I feel like, for a while. For me, Kansas City, what they need to do, they need to pressure Brady, right? Brady's not the same when he feels pressure, right? Brady's not the same. And I think they also, for offensively, because of the line and because of that front seven, I think they need to go to a quick no-huddle offense. Just get fast, tire that defense out, right? Tire that front seven out as much as you can. And I think that's the key to win this game, is get pressure on Brady, force him to make mistakes, and try to score as much as you can. Now, if Tampa Bay has any hope for you guys, what do they need to do to win?
Well,
go ahead.
I'll take this one first.
Yeah.
So we said, Mahomes has to stay up for Kansas City to win. If Tampa Bay can keep Mahomes down and they can make sure that he's not running down the field every single time he has the ball, and the Tampa Bay run offense can do what they've been doing against a weak rush defense in Kansas City, then Tampa Bay can win this game. It's all about keeping Mahomes down, not letting him hit those long passes to Hill, not giving up third down conversions to Kelsey. We got a special guest. And then so it's really just the. Who do you think's gonna win, Kansas City or Tampa Bay? Okay.
No, she's like, I don't want to get into this, but
Yeah.
close
Brady
to
and
call.
Mahomes. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's my take. Rick, you can take it.
Yeah, I think for Tampa Bay to win, they got to control the clock, right? You don't want to give many chances to the Kansas City offense, so they got to control the clock. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, they got to thump that defensive line of Kansas City and wear them down. And then they got to be able to cover. They got to be able to withstand the onslaught of Kelsey and Hill and Mahomes. And I think field position is key. You don't want them starting at like the 40. Like they got to be able to have them starting from the 20 or back. You don't want to give them great field position. So I think those are the three things. The key. Those are the keys for me to see Tampa Bay win that game. Field position is big. Beat up Mahomes if you can get to him, and pound the ball, man. Control the clock and run the ball. I keep thinking of like Super Bowl 25, Giants and Buffalo, where the Giants held the ball for like 41 minutes. Like Tampa Bay needs to win the time of possession.
Yes.
Like they have to be plus 35 on the time of possession. That's a must.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for in this game. If they hold the ball for a while, Kansas City's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to echo you right there. I think pound the ground, keep Mahomes on the bench as long as you can. What I say was also, I think for the defense, you can't really blitz Mahomes, right? Because you don't want to expose your secondary. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you need to get pressure on Mahomes.
Yeah.
Try to force a mistake, but I think this is gonna be a close game. But before we get to the final score, I want to know. We heard a lot of this. We talked about it a little bit earlier. This legacy talk, right? How would it affect these QBs? Are great QBs. How will this game impact the legacy? We heard that. I heard tapes that Patrick Mahomes win this game. He's the GOAT. I heard takes that Tom Brady wins. I agree. I'm there with you, but this is what's out there. I heard that if Tom Brady wins this game, it certifies that he didn't need Bill Belichick. He's better than Belichick. Like there's so many things going around. I just want to know what you guys think, Mike and Rick. How does it impact each QB's legacy if they win or lose?
Well, I think that Tom Brady, win or lose, he's already stepped out of Belichick's shadow just by making it to the Super Bowl. So it wasn't a Belichick versus Brady type of debate anymore. So Brady obviously played a huge factor on Belichick's team. But that being said, if Tom Brady wins this game, Patrick Mahomes will never have the opportunity to be declared the greatest of all time. Because if you can't beat the best, you can't be the best. And if Patrick Mahomes wins this and he can go on a run and do what Brady did, then Patrick Mahomes could trump him as the greatest of all time down the line if he could do it.
So here's the thing: even if Brady wins the game, right, he's going to be the greatest of all time. Nobody will ever catch up to him. So I don't know. It's not.
That's
fair
what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? If he loses the game, he's still the greatest of all time because I don't know that Mahomes is ever going to win 6, right?
Well, I'm saying if he
so,
wins 6.
Is it a legacy? So I don't know if is it a legacy game for Mahomes? I mean, he's already lost to Brady once in a championship game. I mean, I don't know how much. I don't know that I don't know that if he loses this game, this will take away from what Patrick Mahomes is. Like you could say right now, Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer just by the way he played. So, but yes, if he wins, I think this puts Mahomes right up there. But is he better than Aikman, who's won 3? Is he better than Terry Bradshaw, who's won 4? Montana's won 4. Is he better than some of these quarterbacks? Who like right behind Brady? I mean, we don't know that yet. So I don't know that this game defines his career. I mean, the guy's only played his 4th season.
Yes. Say that louder.
It doesn't. I don't know that this defines his career. It can't. He's going to play for another 15 years. Suppose he loses this game, and then he goes on one of these Brady runs and rips off 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. Like, are you then not going to say, hey, he's got to consider him the greatest of all time? Yeah. I mean, I don't know that, I don't know that does that. So I don't think this game is going to define the guy's legacy, man. I don't see that. I don't see it. Now, Brady, it'll put him, I was telling Mike, if Brady's able to pull this one off, this puts him right up there with Muhammad Ali. This puts him up there with like immortals in sports if he's able to pull this thing off. If he wins this. If he doesn't, then he's still the GOAT, but he's not like in that echelon.
So I think that I agree with you that if he gets 7, I don't see anyone catching up to him.
Never.
It could happen one day. Who knows? Like, everything happened, but it's gonna be really, really hard. And I agree that this Patrick Mahomes GOAT talk is way too early right now.
Yeah.
It's only 3-4 seasons, and let's see him like for a whole decade do this. Not saying, to me, he is more skilled than Brady, but you talk about Brady has a clutchness. He has done more with less. He has longevity. So I want to see how Patrick Mahomes looks like. Maybe one down the line we could have him go talk, but not yet. It's way too early. I do think if he wins this, I think all this it does for each team is more cement, right? So if he wins this, I think it cements him more for the face of the league. He's the upcoming upcoming QB as far as who's going to be the next great, not the greatest, but great. And also as far as I think it's more says about Kansas City, because people were calling Kansas City a dynasty last season when they only had one. It's hard to be called a dynasty when you have one, but if you have two, I can see him making it a dynasty here, or you can say it's going to be a dynasty. When you have one, I don't think you can talk just because of wins and losses and end don't mean much. It comes down to Super Bowls. So I can see if they win this one, it says more about Kansas City than it does about Patrick Mahomes. So I think Patrick Mahomes is kind of ready to face the league. And at TampaBay, I think, like I said, it just cements Brady in that greatest of all time. And it's a little bit higher.
Exactly. 100%, And here's the other thing about the debate, right? Like Brady, the first 3 Super Bowls, it was all about the defense. It was all about the team. Mm-hmm. Brady didn't have much to do with those 3 Super Bowls. And then Brady still has the 19-1 on his record. I mean, he lost. He was on an undefeated team, and he lost.
I knew you guys would bring this up. It hurts still.
I know it hurts, but he lost. I mean, and then he went on. He shouldn't have beat the Falcons. He should have lost that Super Bowl. He should have lost to the Seahawks. I mean, so if there are different breaks in these games, Brady, we're not talking about Brady is the greatest of all time. So that, let's hold off on, burying Patrick Mahomes if he loses this game.
Oh, no, you don't bury him. You don't bury him. But you can say maybe one day, but not right now. But as far as that, you can say that what if about most of all the great Super Bowls, right? What if that happened, right? What if he doesn't make that catch? What if he doesn't make that catch, right, for 2 of the Giants Super Bowls? But anyways, going back to earlier, I think Brady still pulls off those drives, right? Those game-winning drives, whether it leads to a field goal or it leads to a touchdown. I feel like that's why he is there, because when it comes to those Super Bowls, whether it's a big Atlanta comeback where he led multiple drives in the second half, the first half was horrible. He came back in the second half and led multiple drives. Whether it was a Seattle one where he came back after the Butler interception, Butler interception. Well, Butler interception was the end, but how he was able to take that game, I feel like it just comes down to how clutch he is. And it's clutch. We talked about MJ versus you hear Skip talk about all the time, MJ and Brady, the most clutch player in all the sports. Now, I feel like this cements it. Now we're going to the final prediction of the Super Bowl, the grand finale. I want to know not only who's winning, I want to know the score. And this might help somebody with the spread. But we are not responsible. Locked In is not responsible.
Let's put that disclaimer out there. Out there.
Do not come for me if you lose money in this game, okay? I'm not telling you to bet in this game.
I 35-30 Chiefs.
Okay. Any reason why though? I want to know if there's a reason why that number, or does you think it's going to be high scoring, or?
Yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring for sure. Mahomes can put up points against any defense. What they score last year against San Fran?
It wasn't 27. It was 27-17 that final score.
I don't remember my head.
Yeah, they put up 17 points in the fourth quarter. I remember. I think.
I think. I think both teams are going to score.
Yeah.
But I think, TampaBay is going to make it closer in the fourth quarter. But that's it. 35-30.
Yeah, it was 31-20. 31-20 final
score last year. Okay,
okay. Yeah. And I think the San Francisco 49ers defense was better than the Bucs defense is right now, so.
All right, so I have to go based on first pick. What do you think?
I like 31-27 Kansas City. I think it's gonna be back and forth. It's gonna be a great fight back and forth, but Kansas City pulls away at the end.
All right, so you have a little bit more than a field goal. So you think it's gonna be out of field goal stretch?
Yeah, I think they cover. They cover, but it'll be 31-27.
All right. So I think this game's going to come down to what all great games come down to. Special teams, like you mentioned earlier, how big special teams are. I think it's going to come down to field goal. And my most obvious take is going to be 30 TampaBay versus 27 Kansas City. And I have that.
Wow.
It's going to be a field goal game. I'm going to have this because of this. Because I think the defense is, like I said, the defense is going to come. It's going to come out of the defense of the game, which defense can make more stops, right? And I think I trust TampaBay's front seven more, especially with Kansas City's offensive line. I think that's going to impact this game. I think it's going to come down to the last 2 minutes. We're going to see Brady do it one more time. I just feel like TampaBay is more whole and complete right now. But it's going to be a close game because Patrick Mahomes. I feel like this game's going to get off to a slow start because this is kind of what both these offenses do. They have these dry spells in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Right? And then they come back in the second half. So I feel like during the second half is when the game's going to get really interesting. But for Kansas City, they've been around 22-30. I think both they were 22 and 30 for both games. And then those defenses weren't as great as TampaBay's. And then they had the other team had 17-24 and the offense wasn't as high scoring. Whereas TampaBay has been around scoring 30 and they have led around 24. So I think it's going to be – and Kansas City's a little bit more explosive. But let's forget, TampaBay has played Packers and with the Rodgers MVP conversation team, and he also played Saints. So they faced high-power offense. So I think this defense can maybe slow, not stop, slow down Kansas City a little bit. But someone asked before we sign off here, someone asked an interesting question. Because we brought up the TyrekeHill, MikeEvans thing. I want the top 5.
I saw it. Yeah.
Top 5 real quick wide receivers. I'll go real quick if you guys can.
Go ahead.
All right, if I'm just going. Am I just going this season or just in general?
Just top 5.
Okay. If I'm not going this season, I'm gonna go Hopkins.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Adams, best route runner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Michael Thomas, best hands.
Yep.
This is where it gets tricky. Okay. I'm at Keenan Allen for 5. I feel like he's very underrated.
Yep.
Number 4 is always tough. I let Diggs, what Diggs showed me this year, I think he's in my top 5 now, especially with that yards after catchability. Brenton speed, he has the hands. He's really a complete wide receiver. I think one day, though, in a couple years, Justin Jefferson's going to sneak in his top 5. I think Terry McLaurin is also upcoming in Kenny Galladay. A lot of great wide receivers in this league. I think it's a great time for the NFL. Right, who you guys got in your top 5?
Well, I definitely agree with the Hopkins Adams at the top. Then I put Keenan Allen. Then I put Michael Thomas, and then I put DK Metcalf. Okay, yeah,
DK Metcalf's another upcoming guy. It's just inconsistency. This was his first year that's he really played a complete season.
Yeah, no, but I guess some ranking for next year. I guess where they should be going.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like Diggs. I like DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams. I'm with you on Keenan Allen and Mike. Obviously Michael Thomas is a beast out there. Like I don't see MikeEvans even. Obviously I put TyrekeHill still at top 5.
Yeah,
but I don't see MikeEvans even cracking like top 7. I mean, I don't know that he's there.
Top 10. No,
top 10.
Yeah. Top 15, I think top 15. But
top 15,
10,
yeah. But he's top 5. I don't see MikeEvans a top 5 wide receiver.
For a second, though, you said Mike. I thought you were going MikeEvans. I'm like, oh, is he going to say it?
No. We got Brett chiming in here saying Robinson, and then he corrected himself and put Diggs. That makes more sense because Allen Robinson, no.
Really? Okay, that's actually
Allen Robinson. Man, listen, if the Jets can sign him,
but that's the same thing. Evans has goose eggs. Robinson has goose eggs. I mean, granted, he plays for a team, where the quarterback play is not stout, but I can't put him in the top 5.
Yeah,
I like him. I like him a lot, but top 10, yes. Top 5, no.
See, I don't think Allison Robinson has as many goose eggs. And you think about all the QBs he's played with. He has played with horrible
agreed.
And he's still top 10, top 5 for all the usually wide receiver categories year in, year out. He's consistent. He's actually my sleeper. I would put him in that 5, 6, top 5, top 6, honestly, because like I said, full package, great hands, great route runner, pretty good speed, it's reliable. and he, like I said, he's been doing it with all the QBs. So I say he's definitely top 10, 5, 6 type category. Him and Diggs can go back and forth. I'll go with that, and Keenan Allen maybe. But I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Great Experience Podcast. Make sure you guys check it out. Why don't you guys link your accounts again before we sign off here, where people can find you?
Yes. So yeah, with Fan Experience Podcast, you can find us at Fan Experience Pod on Instagram, at the Fans Pod on Twitter, and we also have our parent company, Playing the Field. It's a sports fan community / dating app, helping sports fans connect on a platonic or romantic level with other sports fans. You can find that at Play the Field Now on both Instagram and Twitter. We have a TikTok at Playing the Field for Playing the Field.
Wait, I see we have 5 minutes left, and I completely forgot. I want to ask you guys a little bit more about your podcast. This is very interesting. So the fan experience, usually people try to get like the big names, like stars, but you guys are interested in connecting fans. So I want to know, how did that idea come about? Like, I like it. It's out, it's different.
Mike, you can tell her. Go ahead, man.
Well, so obviously Playing the Field, the sports fan community, we're trying to build a community of sports fans. And throughout the pandemic, it was harder for people to connect through going to games. So we wanted to bring the community on to really just talk about why they love sports. And that's really where it all started. And, we've been blessed with amazing guests coming on, telling their stories. The origin story is pretty much the same, where it all started, those key moments, those key fan experiences that really drove us to love the games that we love. And, it's good to hear everyone's take on what happened from there and how sports has impacted their life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's just to echo on that. I mean, we met at a Mets game in a rain delay because his cousin invited us to a game, and we started talking. He's like, hey, do you do fantasy football? I was like, sure, why not? And that's how the league started. And then I didn't do it this year. And he's like, well, I don't know what we were talking about. We was talking about Playing the Field. And I was thinking of doing a podcast. He was thinking of doing a podcast. We're like, why don't we do it? So literally went out and bought a laptop and some headsets, and 55 episodes later, here we are. So
I really like how everything's put together. It's really professional. I want to what you guys' background or experience in media, because it seems like you guys it's very, very well put together.
We watch a lot of other sports shows.
We watch you guys.
Honestly, if you take a look at our first episode, I wanna just throw up watching the first episode.
Yeah, our first episode was great.
Not because of our guest. Our guest was awesome, but the graphics and the way we were conducting ourselves, or at least myself. I was like, what is this? But every episode we just, I tried to come up with a new graphic, a new background, a new promo, a new, whatever, and hone my hosting ability and my talking ability and whatnot. So it's just really just a work in progress, and you just have to keep working harder and harder each time. But at the same time, not think of it as work. We don't think of it as a chore. Once the cameras roll, it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, and we're having a blast doing it. And we hope that you all can, check us out Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we obviously have that special episode tomorrow for the pregame.
At 3 p.m., 3 o'clock, right?
Yep, 3 p.m.
Another upcoming podcast I want to mention is the Duffy and BT Sports. So you guys can find it on the Facebook Elite Sports Group debate group on Facebook. Great show. Awesome. It's very, I would say, honest. It's very honest. They give it straightforward. They don't try to chime around. But another upcoming podcast, if you guys want to listen to it. Last question. I want to know what's your goal for this year. Do you have any goals for 2021?
Do another 55 or so episodes, get some more, want to get some high profile names on the show. So we're trying to reach out to people on LinkedIn or whatever and see if we can get some bigger names on the show. But just to keep growing and grow Playing the Field, right? Grow the dating app, launch that. That's launching in a couple of months. Mobile app
launch in a couple of months. That's our main goal.
Yeah.
Get some people using the app, meeting at games or bars or what have you.
That app though is very interesting. I think that's the first sporting app I've seen, as far as dating app. How did that come about? If you guys don't mind me asking.
because I'm just using online dating apps, and I didn't like the just scrolling through multiple profiles just to find somebody that's wearing a jersey or some kind of mention in their bio. So just to cut out that that middleman and whatnot, you want to just get right to the meat of the issue, so our profiles are in the shape of trading cards. Your favorite team is showcased right on the front. You can flip to the back. You can see up to 5 other favorite teams, and pretty much showcase your interests and whatnot, and then you just connect and start chatting with the other people.
I like it. For anyone who wants to find love and just loves connecting about sports, we're gonna connect that in the comments after the show. You keep bringing up this puppy bowl. I have no clue where it is. No.
Oh, the puppy bowl. Yeah. Every year they have a puppy bowl. Just a bunch of puppies running around on like the Animal Planet. That's a big show. Yeah.
Aww. Maybe I'm hoping that it sounds cute.
Yeah, I'm hoping that like a nice yellow lab wins it or a chocolate lab wins it this year. We'll see.
I gotta check it out then because it sounds cute. It sounds like a cute
it's great.
Well, I want to thank you guys again for joining the show. Mike and Rick, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. This was fun.
Thank you.
Ready for the Super Bowl. See whose predictions were right?
All right.
All right.
We'll see. So I'll see you tomorrow, right? You're coming for the pregame show? Yes. I'll send over the info.
Yes, you guys can catch me at the pregame show for the Fan Experience podcast. We will link it on our Facebook as well. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Saturday, I believe. All right, you guys take care until then.
Have a good one.
Thank you very much.